Welcome, Coven members, and welcome back. We are doing our June wrap-up. How many books did you read in June?
7.
I read 7 too.
Nice.
Yes. Awesome.
Sissies.
I can't wait to hear about them. So there are a couple of book club books that are in our wrap-up today. We'll just kind of briefly go over them because we're going to go over them in more detail in our book club update video. The first book I read is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is actually a special edition.
Pretty.
Thanks. I didn't really know what to read as an audiobook, and a Coven member, Mariah, suggested it. And then also we were in preparations to see V.E. Schwab on tour, and I was told that the Bury Our Bones book was very reminiscent of how Addie LaRue was written, so I just kind of wanted to be prepared. I'm so glad I did, because I do feel like it prepared me. This is a character study. This is not really a plot book. I mean, it is, but it is more so a character study. Have you read this?
No. Is
Okay.
that like how Bury Our Bones is?
Yes.
Is it? Oh,
I would
okay.
classify Bury Our Bones as a character study as well.
Interesting.
I absolutely loved it. It drags a little bit, but you're getting to know every inch of Addie. So
I love that. I love getting to know characters really well and like them becoming my friends or like a part of my life.
Addie will be your friend. I think I gave it like 4.5 stars, something around there, just because it did drag on just a little bit. But when I say drag on, I mean like 50 pages could have been cut out. So like not that much. I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. But just go in like knowing it's a character study more so than like a plot-driven book.
So what is like the storyline? Give me like a brief little plot.
Yeah, absolutely. Addie, it starts in the 1700s. So Addie is about like 20 years old. So she's about to be a spinster because she's not married yet, right?
Ooh.
And so there is someone in the village that just lost their wife, and they already have multiple kids, and her parents are like, hey, you got to marry him. And she's like, hell no, I'm not doing that. So there's also someone else in the village that I wouldn't call her a witch per se, but she definitely like talks to like the gods of nature versus like a Christian god, you know? And the big thing that she like warns against is do not talk to the gods after dark. The ones that answer you after dark basically are no good.
Yeah.
Well, she's in her wedding dress running through the forest, and guess who answers?
At night?
At night.
Ooh.
At night. Yeah. So she makes a deal. She wants to be free, but basically every person that meets her, as soon as they leave the room, they forget who she is. And it takes us all the way to, I believe, 2014. And that's like present day in this book is 2014.
That could be useful at sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's really interesting to see like how she navigates through the world, and then like the god that she makes a deal with, like they kind of have this interesting relationship that you learn a lot about, and it's a lot of back and forth, tug and pull. It's really fascinating.
Not like a love interest though, right? Or kind of.
I think that's kind of up for interpretation.
Ooh.
That relationship, there's nothing black and white about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
That sounds interesting. It's on my TBR.
If you love Bury Our Bones, you'll love this one.
Okay, so one of my ARC reads was A Bargain So Bloody by Valissa Drake, and it's about a girl named Samara, and she has been imprisoned for crimes she did not commit. And one day, a vampire has been thrown into the prison, and she gets the lovely task to go and look after him. So he is in prison, and his name is Raphael.
Okay.
But he makes her a deal.
Ooh, okay.
A bargain.
A bargain so bloody.
It is so bloody because obviously he's a vampire. So, and so she takes the deal, but was it a wise decision? I don't know. So they go on this adventure together, and she finds out a lot of details along the way.
Okay.
I gave this book like 4.2 2 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. And this was like my second ARC book that I read. I really enjoyed it a lot. There is a lot of information that goes into this book and not a lot of like questions answered. So the crime that she commit to get into prison, I still don't know.
Oh, okay. Is it something that's like alluded to that you'll find out later? Because it's not a standalone, right?
Right, there is a sequel, but I am excited. It leaves off on a huge cliffhanger, and I do love Raphael because I love a moody man,
Yeah.
and he's definitely moody. And also I love vampires.
Mm-hmm.
This June was filled with vampires, actually. So this was it was a great ARC book that I'm very much looking forward to the second one. I couldn't give it more because of just there were so many questions that I felt like should have been answered. Like it's probably like a 500-page book because she has said multiple times that like I didn't mean to be there. I wasn't supposed to be there, type of deal. And those questions weren't answered.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
That was a little frustrating, but ready for the second one for sure. Hopefully we will get more answers.
The second book I read was The Housemaid by Frida McFadden.
I've not read that one.
I also read this on audiobook. I've kind of been on a real big audiobook
Me
kick.
too.
The cool thing, so I read this honestly in anticipation of the movie. I think it's coming out this year. I think in December of this year. And so, but the cool thing about reading this right before the movie came out, because the casting's been announced, right? So like the main 3 people in the story, I already pictured them. So like that was kind of cool.
Yeah. I love when that happens.
The voice actors did a phenomenal job. The Sydney Sweeney's character like has a really thick like Brooklyn accent. And she did, yeah. So it was really good. I do think I liked it more when I finished it than like I haven't really like thought about this much more, right? So like I had because this is one of the only series that Frida McFadden has. So like there's like the Housemaid Wedding, the Housemaid Secret, there's
the
like
Housemaid Watching.
Yeah. And I originally was going to read all of those, but I haven't really found much of a drive to like really continue the story. The way that it ends is a really fascinating dynamic. And so I think eventually I will want to see it play out. Maybe if there's going to be a sequel to the movie, maybe I'll read it then.
Are they going to make the movie just about the first book or
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know that. There's enough in here for a movie, and I'm sure they'll add more and take away like movies do.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a nice solid read. Like I think it's a perfect audiobook kind of book.
I think it should be like a staple to read every Frida McFadden book, even the ones that aren't good.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I just feel like it's like tradition or something that, like you just need to read them all.
You have to read some, yeah.
Like all the Goosebumps books. I like read them all, but not all of them were good.
Correct. Yeah, that's true.
Those were like...
Yeah, so this is my 4th one that I'm looking at my shelf and seeing the one. The Teacher is still one of my favorite thrillers of all time because that twist, it blew me away. And then Never Lie and The Housemaid, I would say is like on the same kind of level. I did not like The Inmate. Nope, didn't like it.
I thought The Inmate, the end on that one was crazy.
Didn't like it.
The boy?
Didn't like
it. All right. Okay.
Twists have to make sense for me, and that one didn't. There was no like crumbs. It was just when a twist is just straight up shock value and there's nothing you like go back and you're like, oh yeah, they said this, they did. Because at the end of The Teacher, I'm not going to spoil it, so don't worry. But like at the end of The Teacher, I literally thought about it for days because I'm like, they did say this, or they did do that, or that name does, so.
All those little Easter eggs.
Yes.
You're right.
Whereas The Inmate, it was just like, and I'm like, okay.
Okay, that's a fair point.
That's just my opinion. I'm glad you liked the anime.
Yeah.
It just wasn't my favorite.
It wasn't my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I would say Never Lie
Mm.
and The Teacher are my favorites so far
Yeah.
that I've read by her.
Yeah.
I haven't read that
I
one.
think you would really like this.
All right, so my next books were also an arc that I got, and it was my first arc. That was very exciting.
That's so exciting. You have been on an arc reading journey.
I didn't
this
think that I
summer.
would get any, and then I got too many. I got myself in a little bit of a pickle. Again, that's why I don't sleep, is because I have to read all these arcs because there's a deadline. The first arc that I got it's the third book of this trilogy. The first book is When Storms Awaken. And then we have When Storms Ruin. And then the third book, which was the arc, is When Storms Collide. So this trilogy is about a woman, Diana, and she finds out that she is a witch. She didn't know. She thought that she was just a normal human being. Like, ugh.
How do you not know?
I know, right?
How old is she?
Well, there is a reason why she didn't know.
Okay.
So Diana moved in with her aunt, and her parents, she believes, are dead.
Okay.
And I might be wrong about that. I don't know. I don't remember. It's been so long. Anyway, doesn't matter. She's living with her aunt. And she goes to school. She's living her best life, but she's like kind of awkward. But she has one best friend who is like the popular one. Lo and behold, a dark, broody, grumpy teenager. Let me also remind you, these are teenagers, which is like also a little out of my league too, but that's okay. We're fine.
So is this YA?
It wasn't marketed that way.
Okay. Is there spice?
There is spice, which is again.
So it's about teenagers, but there's spice.
There's definitely spice.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So she's at school, and kid walks in and dressed in all black, very grumpy, given that sort of energy. She's like, oh, hello, I'm into you. They kind of like, he finds interest in her, the whole deal. And then her magic starts to appear all of a sudden. One day her magic arises, and she finds out that this also broody, grumpy other male teenager is also a powerful witch. Then also finds out that her mother is actually not dead, and she put a curse on her to stifle her power, to keep her away from the witch world. And her sister, her half sister, is actually the one that runs it. Stormshade witches and Nightshade witches. And the Nightshade witches hate the Stormshade witches.
Of course.
Because they're like so powerful. And her sister is a Nightshade, but Diana is a Stormshade. She controls the storms. And
Okay, Violet.
it's giving me kind of vibes of another, if we only had dragons, maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway, like they go on this whole journey together, and she's trying to save her witch kingdom because lo and behold, she's also the daughter of the king that her half sister ended up killing.
Okay.
So she's now queen, or supposed to be the queen of this witch kingdom, and she's like, I'm gonna save this kingdom. And then the second book is like them actually, trying to figure out a way to take down her sister. Actually, her and her friend get captured, and she thinks that obviously this like grumpy teenager boy, it's her love interest. Spoiler.
Shocker.
That's a spoiler. And then he portrays her, or so she thinks, and her and her friend are locked in a dungeon. And then we get to the third book and found out that the half sister had turned the love interest, the grumpy man.
Oh.
But Not all of him. He has a shred of his humanity left that he can control. And then by the third book, I gave up. I had to DNF it.
You DNF'd it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, you didn't know?
No.
I couldn't.
So why?
All right. So the first book I gave 3.5 stars actually, and I will say I'm not really particular about writing. I'm there for a good time. The writing I don't really care about. If the plot is there, I'm in. The first book I feel like I gave a lot of like grace because I'm like I understand, like, new author. I think she does have another series out, but I'm like,
Mhm.
"Okay, you're still trying to find your, like, writing style,
Mhm.
and I can get past that." But the repetitiveness of, like, what she was saying, I was just like, "Surely it will get better in the second book." Right?
Mhm.
We learn, we grow. It did not.
Yeah.
It did not. We understand, Diana, that your love interest has betrayed you. We don't need to know every other sentence that you are mad at him and you can't forgive him, even though he is sexy. Like,
Got it.
we got it.
Yeah.
Like, it
Mhm.
just was very repetitive, but that's not why I DNF'd it. Well, that is part of it because by the third book, I was just like skimming whole pages at a point because it was just stuff that she had already said and that I already know, and I'm like, I'm getting tired. And then also the fact that the plot just resembled so much of like other books that we have read. I was
Mhm.
like, you just put some dragons in there and then I'm in Fourth Wing all over again.
Gotcha.
So
Okay. So I'm assuming you don't recommend then.
in my opinion, it's a no for me.
Mhm.
It's a no. But someone else might like it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. If you like witches instead of dragons, this is the one.
We both read The Ministry of Time because that was a book club book. We want to go into the nitty-gritty spoilers on our book club update. General vibes, would you recommend this book?
Maybe. It's a maybe for me.
Okay.
I rated it 3.75 stars.
Yeah. I did that or like 3.5. I don't quite remember.
I think you did 3.5.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
I will have to say that we just talked about twists with this last book, right? The twists in this book made sense.
Mhm.
So I appreciate it, and it definitely got a boost in the star rating because of that.
Mhm.
But one thing that I really try to not rate an entire book because the ending was good. Or I liked the ending, or they did something cool, or things like that. This book, I feel like, is the definition of that. If we cut, because like what, we find out the twist in what, the last 75 pages?
Probably.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So like if that just magically was cut out, this would be like 2.753,
Mhm.
They're just like, there wasn't much happening.
Yeah. There Graham actually is the reason why I feel like I love this book because he was so cute
Yeah.
and I just love
So
him.
generally, what this book is about, this organization that is pulling people from the past, from I think 1600s, 1700s, and 1800s, right before they die, and bringing them to the present. And then they're trying to assimilate them into modern day. And so each person that they bring back has a person from the present, from the organization, that they're paired with, and they live with them. And they just kind of help them like get through life. We don't know the main character's name.
Which is wild because I I mean we read this book so like
A while ago. Yeah.
it was a while ago.
Yeah.
I think we read it before June because
No, I read it in June.
oh you did?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I did too.
Yeah. That's
I
why it's
read
in the June wrap.
I did bury our bones early.
Yeah, we did bury our bones early, but yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I have arcs to read. Anyway, the fact is that I didn't even realize I didn't know her name until we talked about it at our, like, our little book club, and I was like, "You're right, I don't
Yeah.
know her name."
So if you're fine, kind of like, I don't even really want to call it a character study, but it's just kind of like the relationships that like the modern day people build with like the people they brought. And then, of course, there's some conspiracies in the end. There's a twist that I enjoyed, but the twist made it a higher rated book for me. And so if that justifies making a higher rated book for you, then like wonderful. But it's not, I don't think it would be a book that I would recommend to just anyone.
Yeah, this book, I think I have to have some like, I have to have a feeling off of it, like, happy or I mean, shock is a little bit of a one, but it was like a small shock. It was like,
Yeah.
"What? That's
Mhm.
crazy." And then I
Classic.
went about my day.
Yeah. Mhm.
So,
So, that's,
but I didn't hate it.
but we'll go into spoiler territory in our book club update.
So, my next one is also another ARC book, and this was The Silversmith, by L.J. Claren, and this was a 4.5 star for me. The Silversmith is about a woman named Ariella, and her brother and father were murdered, and her mom was just so stricken with sadness that they were murdered that she just leaves her, right?
Oh.
And they live in this, like, really cold environment, so she's gotta fight to survive, and then one day, all of a sudden, one of her friends show up, and she's like, "Hey, girl, what's up? Like, I'm here to take over. This was a plan, but your mom wasn't supposed to leave this early." And then the next day, 4 more men come in, and then there's this, again, lumberjack, delicious man, grumpy. I obviously have a type. And his name was Smith, and they go on this adventure. She has to leave. So her and Smith and all the other crew go on an adventure. It was good. The ending, again, big cliffhanger. There's a next book coming. I'm pumped. I don't know if she has any other books out, but like as soon as I finished it, I reached out to her and I was like, "Chef's kiss. You deserve all the hype in the world." Yeah.
Did she answer
Yeah,
you?
she's sweet. Yeah.
Aw.
Mhm. I'm very excited for her. I think I will suggest that book.
Okay.
It's a yes for me. There's a huge twist in this book. It is I I was not expecting it. I think that's why I also bumped it up. But there was plot, there was spice, there was like I felt emotion from it, and then bam, she hit me with like this out of the pocket turn that I was not expected for, but I was on board. It was good.
This is Asunder by Kirsten Hall. I have been dying to talk about this book.
You sound like you're just
I
dying.
I am. Having it in my hands again, I'm just like, "Ah!" A book has never made me feel this way.
I'm scared. It makes me feel like you're mad or
I
like
am.
okay, but like a good mad?
Mm.
Mm. I also have this book and then planned on reading it, but now I'm scared.
Yeah, and then the other Sarah also read it, and I believe her feelings are pretty much identical to mine.
I need more.
So, this book is about Karis. She is a death speaker. So, basically, that means like if she goes to a place where someone dies, she can talk to like that soul.
Oh, so like a medium?
Sorta, yeah.
Okay.
She kinda like it's definitely it's described as, like, her kinda, like, falling into a veil, right?
Mm.
Where, like, she's still in, like, our realm or whatever, but, like, her almost like her mind is, like, in the veil, and she can kinda, like, manipulate it and stuff too. And so she at the very beginning, literally the first chapter is, like, so gripping. I read that first chapter, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is, like, crazy." She gets hired by these people to go because there's a shipwreck that happened, and so they're trying to figure out like where their stuff went and what happened. And then she stumbles upon this creature that's literally like this gelatinous blob that like as soon as like, I mean, it just like sucks you in and you just like die, you disintegrate.
Mhm.
That's like how crazy it is. So she's running from that, and then she comes across another person named Farain. And Farain has been injured by this creature, and like he's gonna die, right? Because like, I mean, even just a speck of it, just like because he got such a small amount, that's why he's still alive, right?
Mhm.
And so, but then upon like them talking, she finds out that he comes from like a very wealthy family. And so she's like, "Hey, if I can save you, will your family pay for you for your safety?" And he's like, "Yeah, absolutely." So she kind of does this thing this isn't supposed to happen,
Yeah.
right? But like she opens the veil up and kind of puts him in it. And so by putting him in that, he's no longer like in pain. Like it stops it. It like freezes it.
'Cause he's, like, dead like, purgatory.
Kinda, yeah, in
Yeah.
that sense. So, but essentially to, like, put it very simply, he becomes her shadow.
Forever?
Well, I mean, throughout the book.
Oh, okay.
Through
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you know, when they're trying to, like, blend in, like, he just looks like a regular shadow, but then when he talks, like, he, like, comes up on the walls and talks to her and all that jazz, you know? So, the book is them trying to get to his family so that way, but, like, the thing that she did, so first she goes to, like, a healer and was like, "Hey, can you, like, undo this?" And, like, they're like, "No, what you did was, like, forbidden. What you did is, like, unheard of. Like, we can't do this." And there's different, like, factions, and of course, certain factions are don't like each other and all that
Mhm.
stuff. But then kinda after, like, that general, like, plot gets put, then it almost, like it's not, like, presented this way, but the way it's written is almost like a few, like, mini, like you know how there's arcs in, like, anime and stuff like
Mhm.
that? It's like mini arcs. There's the overarching arc of them trying to get him home. But then there's like these little like she goes back to her hometown and stuff happens, and then they pick up a friend, and then they go and to this other guy, and like they pick up another friend, you know? So it's
Yeah.
kind of weird. The reason I almost DNF'd this book towards the beginning because you are dropped into this world, and it is not like a um it's not like a normal world. Like instead of a taxi, right, they have these headless dogs that they
N
ride around.
Not okay.
Yeah, and then there's, like, this train or carriage kinda thing that people ride all the time, but it's a spider. Like,
I'm out.
the reason why I almost DNF'd was because we get put into this world and then hardly anything is explained. It is still, like, really never explained, like, the different factions and why they don't like each other or why they're chasing each other. Sometimes it's confusing which faction, like, she's a part of and which faction he's a part of. The ending. And this isn't just the ending. Like, once I got to, like, halfway, then I was, like, invested because there was a lot of character development going on. Their relationship really became, like, really fascinating, and then her relationship with the other 2 people that they kinda, like, bring along, and again, there's, like, gods, and, like, she made a deal with, like, a god, and that's how she got this power, but, her time is about to come due, you know? So
Mhm.
and there's just a lot of twists and turns to it. It's very brutal in times, but the ending, like, I was so upset because I think also too because I thought it was a standalone, and it's not.
Ooh. Womp
Yeah,
womp.
and it definitely ended with, like with someone that I really, really learned to love and care for, like, I don't know what's happening with them, and
You
I'm
sound
just
like you're about ready to
I
get
know, I'm just so upset.
reliving all these feelings all over again.
I know. It's so bizarre.
I am just like I feel very on the edge or like I don't know how I feel if I want to read this book now.
I had to switch to audiobook. Whenever I consider DNFing, I switch the medium.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that helps. And so I had to switch to audiobook. And then probably the last quarter I immersive read. And oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did that. Immersive reading.
It is game change.
It's game changing. For you specifically, I would recommend it. But I will say you will probably be texting me a lot.
It'd be like, I don't know what the heck is going on. Because honestly, there is so much in that little blurb.
So I will say though, if you were gonna read it, don't read this until we have a confirmed date for the next one. So hold off. And is it Kirsten? Kirsten, please give me the second book. Do you know I went on Reddit, I went on ChatGPT, I went everywhere to try to figure out if there was another book and when it was coming. And there was like literally one Reddit post that I found, and it was like, yeah, there will be a second one, but don't know if she's writing it or not. So
Dun, dun, dun.
so don't read it until book 2 has been confirmed.
What if she never writes it?
I will cry. I think about this book quite a bit.
I think that's a good book then. If
I
you
think
think
it is,
about it,
too.
even if it makes you mad. So my last book that I read was Alice Feeney, The Beautiful Ugly.
Okay.
Thriller. And I think I rated it 3.75 stars. And I listened to this one on audiobook. Really good on audiobook. I was not, when I repeat, I was not suspecting the twist. However, so the MMC in the book makes a lot of bad decisions. His wife ends up going missing, and he's an author, and he just can't find the will to write anymore. And his publisher is actually his wife's aunt, and she's pretty much the reason why his books have been successful.
Okay.
So she gives him an opportunity to go to this island that is only for people that live there. Like, people can come and visit it, but only during like a tourist season. So she's like, I have this cabin. My old client, actually, when he passed away, he gave it to me. You go there, write me another book because we need another book. I know you're sad, but you can get over it.
Whew.
So yeah, he goes there, and you have to like take a ferry to go there. But when he arrives at the ferry, they're like, people that don't live on the island can't bring cars.
What?
See ya. I'm not going to some island without my car, right? Or like some sort of transportation
Yeah.
to. I mean, I know that you can't drive off an island, but what do you want me to do? Just walk
Yeah.
everywhere? That was my big red flag, but maybe because I have watched way too many true crimes, and I think everybody is a murderer. So there's just a lot of things that like were just like, why are you still here? You know, get off the island. The twist makes sense, like we talked about. It was just those little things. I'm just like, you are making really dumb choices,
Yeah.
and I don't like that. To me, any sensible person, I feel like, would have been like, it's time to go. His phone doesn't even work when he's on the island, and then he asks everybody that he comes in contact with. He's like, when's the ferry to leave? How do I get home? And everybody's like, well, and he just like kind of accepts it. And I'm just like, he also comes to find out that all the people that live on the island are women. It was good. I would suggest it. It was a fun read. It did make me angry because I'm like, you should make better life decisions.
In June, I also read Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. This is the special Owl Crate edition.
So pretty.
It's so pretty. And
the
then
art inside, like the
yeah.
foil.
There's the art. When it's sprayed edges all the way around. I wanted to take this opportunity to show it off.
I know. I want one so bad.
I won't talk about this too much because it's our July book club book.
More vampires.
More vampires. I just genuinely could not wait. I couldn't wait. I had to immediately read it. So I cheated. The only part that I'm sad about is like I didn't get to comment on Fable. Like as I was reading it.
I've been so bad lately.
I really enjoy the commenting section on Fable. I wish that Asunder would have been a book club book because I would have been commenting on every single chapter.
You've been like, WTF.
Every single chapter. This was a 5-star read for me. I do have to say that this is, have you ever heard the term 5 stars is a feeling?
No.
No? Okay. So there's a book YouTuber that I follow, Emmy. I think you follow her too.
I do.
And stuff. So she has merch that says 5 stars is a feeling. And so when I say that this is a 5 stars is a feeling 5 stars, I mean because there were, I mean like the smallest, tiniest little things that I was kind of like, But I was just like, when I went to actually put 4.75 as the rating, I said, I can't do it. I can't do it. I am choosing to overlook those tiny little things because everything else trumps it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. If you like Addie LaRue, you'll love this. If you haven't read Addie LaRue, you'll love this.
We went and saw her, and I hadn't read any of her books, but just listening to her talk, I fell in love with everything she has wrote. And it's, I could listen to that lady talk forever.
Forever.
I could go to sleep.
She was wonderful. She's such a wonderful human being. This is turning into my V.E. Schwab year. Like almost all of her books, like will probably be in the top 10, everything that I've read by her. And it's so wild because I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent, but like we had a lot of author events like back to back, and several of those authors like I hadn't read anything by V.E. Schwab when I bought those tickets, but like I wanted to read her. And so here, as of recently, there's been some authors come home. I was like, no, I need to slow down, or no, I haven't read any of that. But like, I wouldn't have read her books if I didn't have the author event. And now, like, she's my favorite. You know, she's my favorite author now. So author events are cool. They're sometimes a motivator as well.
She turned me without even having to read one of her books.
Yeah.
Just like her passion and just the way that she can tell a story is very captivating. Again, like I said, I could just listen to her voice. It's just so soothing and relaxing. And I was just, my mind is all over the place. And I felt like I've never felt in tune with one moment than that moment that we were there. My whole focus was just to her.
Yeah.
And which is crazy. I'm excited. I want to read these.
Oh, these are great. This is King of Greed by Anna Huang. This is the third in her King of Sin series. So the first one is King of Wrath, and then the second one is King of Pride. And so if you've read her Twisted series, which I've read and I really, really enjoyed, they were kind of my first like contemporary romance books that I'd ever read. And to me, like the thought of interconnected standalones like blew my mind at the time. And now I know it's like normal.
When we first met, that's what you were listening to.
So I knew that I was going to be starting the Poppy War. And I know the Poppy War is very like intense and stuff. So and I'm reading it on Kindle, it's on KU. So I wanted something that was just going to be kind of like easy and a completely different genre, like complete opposite. And I had read those first two and I'm like, you know, I'm just going to pick them back up because I really liked the audiobooks. It's duet narration, and like each one they change the actors, so like it's really personalized to, you know, who those main characters are. This one is they're all like billionaire romances essentially. This one is second chance after divorce is like and there's a very specific trope in all of them, right? So like the first one is arranged marriage. In the second book, she writes like spicy books and he's like a CEO. I mean, it starts right off like they're getting divorced, right? And so it's second chance. Kind of the only like, I try not to think too hard about these kind of books because you're just in for the fun, you're in for the ride.
Yeah.
Right? The only thing that I really just couldn't like let go of was, so I mean, he's like a workaholic, right? And so, but then literally as soon, and they were married for like 10 years or something like that. And then as soon as she's like, okay, I'm gone, he like just completely changed and then never like went back. And I was just kind of like, that to me, that was a little unrealistic, I guess.
He had a midlife crisis.
I guess. This is a good time. It's to listen to it and just, yeah.
So, is there going to be like 7? Is it
Yes.
all? Yeah, it's just like 7 deadly
Yes.
sins.
And right now, I mean, spoiler for July, but like I've already finished King of Sloth, which is the next one. Loved it. It's probably my favorite one so far.
What's the trope in that one?
The trope in that, so it's kind of like forbidden because she is his publicist. So like he's her client, so it's kind of like forbidden in that sense, right?
Well, yeah.
I loved King of Sloth. I know we're not talking about Kings, but like I loved it. And then I literally started King of Envy yesterday, and that one has the potential to be just a banger.
Are all 7 out?
No, so 3, 4, so 5's out. King of
Okay.
Envy is the 5th one. So then so the next one is going to be King of Gluttony, and then the last one is King of Lust.
Ooh.
Of course, the last one is King of Lust.
Well, you have to.
You have to.
You have to. I haven't read her Twisted series, and I haven't read this series, but I want to. I didn't really know much about this series, so, but you've kind of intrigued me.
Yeah. I've always kind of used her books as kind of like palate cleansers, or again, like I'm in the middle of Poppy War, so like it's super heavy. This is lighter in that sense. In all of her books, though, I do have to say, it's almost like a sprinkle of like, I say darkness, but a sprinkle of like something like really dangerous, right?
I love danger.
So honestly, because like she's also doing like sports romance series as well. Like The Striker came out, I think this year or end of last year or something. But I wish she would dip her toe into a little bit more darker romance, because I think she would do a really good job.
All right, FYI.
Because I think it was Twisted Lies, which is the last of her Twisted series, which is my favorite one of that series, by the way. But anyways, there's like an element to it where like, and I don't want to like spoil anything, but there's an element to it where like he was doing some crazy stuff. And I was like, oh my God, are we going into this? And then it kind of pulled away, and I was like, no, I want to
do it now.
Do it. My last book of the month was The Poppy War, and this is the special edition. The Dragon Republic just came out, and she posted that it was the first time when the Dragon Republic came out. I think it's been like a week or two ago. It was the first time that any of those books in that trilogy made it to the top 10 on New York Times bestselling list.
Aww.
I was like, that's so cool.
Yeah.
We are going to see her in September for Catabasis, the release of Catabasis. We've already read Yellowface as the book club, but I wanted to read The Poppy War. Everything that she has released is very popular, so it's hard to say that she's known for like one particular book, but like all of her other books that she's released are standalones, and this is her only trilogy. I heard that The Poppy War is painful, and that is correct.
Painful in a good way or a bad way?
I am so glad that I read this series. I'm 61% with The Burning God now, so I'm like almost done. So I'm trying to like cut off my feelings of the first book with the other two. I gave this one 4 stars. So the beginning of it honestly is kind of very traditional in she's from a small town. She is a war orphan, and there is this test in order to get her into a war college, and she has to get like top 10 or something in order to go to this war college. There are other war colleges to go to, but like you have to pay. She doesn't have money. She's like an opium runner for her aunt and uncle that treat her like crap, and they're trying to marry her off to some old dude again. Yeah, I know. And so I mean, she studies for 2 years for this test, and then I mean gets top and she gets to go.
And then she turns into a badass.
Yeah, basically. But can I tell you that like she is such a flawed character. But like it just makes it so real,
Relatable.
so relatable.
Mhm.
There are times that her name is Rin, and there are times I'm just like, no, don't you do. But then there are times I'm like, no, but I understand why you're doing it, but
Mhm.
not like, because you just know like what the main character's supposed to do, and she doesn't do that all the time.
I like that.
Yeah. So like it keeps me on my toes because I kind of never know what she's gonna do.
Mhm.
She is not a predictable character. The plot is not predictable. It is not like, again, when I first started, I'm like, okay, she's gonna ace it, whatever. And she did. I'm like, okay. But then like after that, there is nothing predictable about this book. And I mean, the war starts in this book.
Mhm.
And the other books are about the war. Like, and there is no sugarcoating. Like A Court of Wings and Ruin was a war book. No, it wasn't.
No.
No, it wasn't. It's not multiple POV, but you get like a lot of people's perspectives. You get different warlords' perspectives. You kind of like get sympathy, but then not for like the enemy. And then like the enemy is kind of always changing and stuff. And then um, people die. People that you like.
Oh no.
People that you don't like.
Oh yay.
There is a particular character in here that I have absolutely fallen in love with. Is probably top 5 characters, and it's not Rin. It's a different character. And I'm like, if anything happens to him, I am going to throw this book across the room.
Mhm.
So one of my top 5 favorite characters is now coming out of this book. They're relatable in a completely different way than
Mhm.
Rin is. It's very fascinating. It's multifaceted. It's a really good book.
So it's a yes.
It's a yes. Check trigger warnings. My friend said it best when I was telling her that I was reading it during the summer. She was like, "It's probably good that you're reading it during the summer because most people are happy during the summer. So you reading the Poppy War makes you neutral." So if you get really bad seasonal depression, maybe don't read it in the winter and don't read it around election time.
What if you're just a really emotional person, aka me,
Make sure that your husband is near.
so I can cry?
Or make sure that you're about to come film with me, or we have a book club, or
So I can release.
yeah. I think it's like chapter 22 or something. I had kind of like been prepared. I had seen on socials that like something kind of crazy happens. And it's actually not something that happens, but it's something that is like revealed and like kind of goes into, and like I could definitely see some of the things being triggering for some people. There's gods and there's shamans in here, so there's definitely like a fantastical element to it as well. It plays a pretty big part in it. We read a lot of books this month.
We did. We killed it. I had a lot of deadlines.
How many books did you read in June? Did you have a good read month? Did you have a bad read month? Did you DNF? Did you have a 5-star? Let us know down below. We can't wait to do this again
Next time.
next time.
In July.
Currently, as of recording, our book club book is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, if you would like to join along. And then next month for August, Sarah's book got picked. Project Hail Mary. Yay! Which I'm super excited about because the movie's coming out in March of 26. Ryan Gosling's in it, and I've heard the audiobook is incredible. I know you've already started it. Is the audiobook a recommendation?
Yeah, my husband's listening to it right now. I may or may not have gotten a spoiler, and I'm a little upset with him.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you guys soon.
See you next time.
Bye.